Good morning, Tallahassee. It's time to wake up Warchant on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi and Corey Clark.
What up? What's going on? Showtime. Program's called Wake Up Warchant. It's 97.9 ESPN Radio. You already know the names. Let's get right to it, shall we? We're going to have a Renegade Express heavy edition of the program. But first, Corey, how are you?
I am good, man. I am good.
All right, so 3 days of practice in the books. We've seen, 2.25? Last practice session yesterday was a little bit limited, which is fine. That's not me complaining. Just stating the fact. I guess the biggest thing was Tamori Terry's back out there. That's huge.
Yeah, and looked like he was running around full speed. No real, real problem with it at all. I would hope they'd limit him some, just because he did have a sleeve on there, so they're still looking at it. And I saw the trainer kind of helping him stretch it out a little. But man, when he was running, he was running. Yeah, looked like my dog again.
I think we had some ESPN on ESPN crime yesterday. I was listening to Front Row Knowles.
Okay.
Tom Block was saying, I'm not ready to quite put him into the Pro Football Hall of Fame like other people are. I feel like he's taking a shot across the bow.
They coming at me?
You or me. We're both high on T-squared.
Well,
TT.
Just think in 18 years when you and I are at his Canton speech.
Yeah,
we're going to be
Block,
in Canton.
Huh?
Where are you going to be, Tom Block?
Yeah.
Huh?
How about that, buddy?
You going to still take shots at us when we're all in Canton together, partying with Tamori and Terry?
I've met Tom in passing at events, but I've never really heard Front Row Knowles because I haven't been on the road at that time of the day. But I like his personality, man. He's dry. I like it.
He's actually kind of a jerk. That's a joke. Tom Block is about as good a person as you're going to meet. He's awesome. He's good awesome, people. And I've been saying it for 5-6 years now. When Gene goes, when Deckerhoff calls it quits, that's my man to replace him.
All right, you heard it here first.
I mean, that's who should replace him. We don't know who will, but I hope
IMG will do their whole entire political process and scour the globe.
Well, of course, yeah. I hope it's Tom Block that gets that job.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Ever since the Sun Sports Day, him and Paul Kennedy.
Yeah, man.
KJ. I remember that growing
up. I used to go those.
Primetime Knowles.
It would be KJ and Paul Kennedy, right?
Yep.
And we'd go, because we lived in Atlanta, so to watch Florida State games, we'd have to go to sports bars that bought the feed.
Oh, jeez.
To watch them live. This was like late 80s, early 90s. So, yeah, man, I grew up on Keith Jones and Paul Kennedy. Yeah.
They were not in pads yesterday. They weren't in shells at all. That was a little bit surprising, I thought. I thought maybe they'd kind of go after it. The cool thing was, they tempo... Yeah, was
they got after it.
We kind of talked about a little bit, off the show and just amongst ourselves, like, hey man, this is kind of slow through 2 days, but they did not waste any time getting after it on Wednesday.
Well, and the reason that you would think, I think some people listen to that might think, well, yeah, man, it's the first couple of days, of course it's slow. But I'm telling you, when the first day of spring practice, before they'd even installed anything, they were going 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just go. It was like a fire drill. Just every play, every 8 seconds, another line was running in and snapping. So that's why it seemed odd that they weren't doing that the first 2 days we were there. It was really kind of slow and methodical. But then they didn't have the freshmen, so they didn't have a third of their team really out there. So maybe that's what they were waiting on.
Yeah, I mean, Walt Bell said I think he focused on the first 2 days was just everybody know where they got to be,
right,
and then they'll kind of unleash the hounds, which they did. DeAndre Francois took the first rep of the day with the first unit. Looks like inevitability is not, or it's inevitable, right? I mean, Irish O'Fellow, the great Irish O'Fellow, in his 3-2-1, went ahead and made his prediction.
Already
punched his ballot.
I didn't see that. Did he really?
Yeah.
Francois. I'm not ready to say that yet. And again, I keep watching these guys. There's we don't see that the team on team stuff is what's going to decide it, in my opinion. We don't see enough of that. We won't see enough of that over the next couple of weeks, but there really hasn't been anything we've seen in these 3 days that would be like, yep, 12 is above and beyond the better player.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it looks like
the stuff on the field when they both played their seasons that they played, I thought Francois was a better quarterback.
Yeah.
But judging from these 3 days, it's a hard judgment to make.
Yeah, don't forget about Bailey Hockman. He's out there.
Yeah.
Doing his thing. Any of the freshmen that we got to see out there kind of flashing? I know we talked about Trayshawn Harrison on our wrap-up for Warchant TV on Tuesday, but Wednesday, I know it was a brief sort of period. Warren Thompson's large.
He's a big dude. He made a really nice catch in front of us, too, right there at the end. Didn't even run his route, maybe like David Kelly wanted him to.
Right.
but just snared it out of the air. It was a really impressive catch.
And if you watch our video, I stood in the pocket. Gene was like, "Whoa, dude! Like if you didn't catch that would hit you."
You don't care.
I
And
got
plus,
faith.
and
I got faith.
Warren Thompson's going to catch the ball.
He's got the catch radius of a orca.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a large animal.
It's a very large animal.
You know?
And they catch things all the time, orcas. So, yeah, man, it's, with freshmen, it's hard, other than skill positions.
Yeah,
it's hard
especially they're not in pads.
Yeah, it's hard to say who flashes and who doesn't, but it was noticeable the way everything was running when the freshman receivers were out there. Yeah. They added 4 or 5 of them. The Helton kid, I think he's number 20.
Keyshawn
Helton.
Correct. He's
fast, man. He's quick. He's the smallest of the bunch by a wide margin. He looks like a Bobo or a Kermit. Mm-hmm. In fact, we probably need to give him some sort of nickname like that so he'll fit in with the Bobos and the Kermits. But man, he could move. They all can move. It's kind of what you want when you're recruiting receivers is you want guys that can move.
Yeah. Defensive lineman drills are always nice to watch. Dennis Briggs Jr. looks
That's
like the most sort of – he just moves like he could be ready, or at least he'll get a really good sort of burn out of those 4 games with the redshirt rule. Isaiah Bolden is another guy. I thought,
big dude too, right?
They listed him at 6'2". He looked like he was like 6'4". I mean, he looks very tall and rangy. So
DB, from somewhere.
I think somewhere in Daytona, somewhere in Central Florida.
Florida kid, right?
Yeah.
Was he the kid that was recruited to Willie all the way out in Oregon?
Yeah.
And again, if we want to wonder how Willie Taggart recruits, I think all the Florida schools wanted this kid, and he was willing to go all the way across the country to live in Eugene, Oregon, to play with Willie Taggart. Yeah. So Willie Taggart can get some things done.
I wasn't even close. He's from Wesley Chapel, which is right outside of Tampa. It's a huge urban sprawl suburb. Zephyr Hills, most of that.
Well, still closer than Oregon,
but not even close to Daytona Beach.
Well, I mean, again, it's all relative. Closer than, say, if you would have said Charlotte.
Thank you, man. Way to prop me up.
Or Scranton.
Right on. All right. Anything else that stood out to you want to talk about? We're not going to talk about is this new rule about basketball recruits, seniors being able to get agents or something. I'm not going to talk about that. I didn't read the details on it. People are talking about it. But whatever.
But the thing was released weirdly. The NCAA released that high school seniors, elite high school seniors, could get agents. Basketball could get agents, but then they forgot to mention in their press release that that's only when the NBA adopts the age restriction, gets rid of the age restriction.
Not true.
So, I mean, what's the point of it? So that's not even until 2021 or 2022.
Yeah. Also, there's a good sports business
but
journal
they will
store.
be able to go back. Sorry, they will be if you put your name in and don't get drafted, you will be able to go back, I guess, was one of the new rules. So that's
actually enroll into a college.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Sounds good. Things we also won't talk about: Sports Business Daily or Sports Business Journal had a pretty good write-up about the ACC network, how ESPN is making them pretty much. I mean, they're investing, I think, 4 times the amount of money the SEC network did when they launched, basically because ESPN wants a certain threshold of technology and infrastructure before they launch. So it just costs more.
And again, I know you said we're not talking about this, but when ESPN decided to put all their games on all the Florida State baseball games on the ESPN platform,
right?
So now we can't see them on a Sun Sports or Fox Sports. We just don't get them. Mm-hmm. They said that they were going to treat them as a real broadcast, and quite frankly, they haven't. They didn't.
You lie.
They got people, and this is no offense to the people that end up broadcasting the games, but they just picked whoever was close to Tallahassee they thought could do it. They'd have 1 or 2 cameras. They just weren't broadcasts you would ever put on television. Yeah. They didn't put any money into it.
But then again, this is linear network stuff we're talking about. This is cable stuff we're talking about. But eventually, I mean, they're obviously going to be having productions and games that will be online only. So that'll be a nice threshold. We should talk. We'll mention this actually before we go to break here. Xavier Peters, the linebacker out of Kentucky or Ohio.
Right?
Ohio. He was committed to Kentucky. That's why I keep thinking this. Plus, I didn't realize how close. He's from Westchester, Ohio. I never realized how close Kentucky was to Ohio.
It is right there, my man.
So I went to Louisville for a wedding, and I missed my exit. And it's like, welcome to Ohio. I'm like, what? I went over the bridge.
I went to a casino in Ohio when I was staying in Louisville. It was like 12 minutes away.
Yeah. And lastly, Xavier
Peters,
big
news.
linebacker.
Good news.
He's here. I don't know if he's here, but he's and he should be enrolled. He
qualified.
He qualified. Everything is cleared. And the last thing we're not going to talk about is Corey's unsettling diet choices. Nobody really came to my defense in favor of Big Breakfast. The big breakfast lobby is only myself, obviously. Bimini Bound said he would eat breakfast if somebody would prepare it for him.
Well,
Bimini Bound at Warchant.com.
Yeah.
You're drinking soda right now, brother. Drink water. Come on.
Water for the rest of the night. I do this to keep my energy up. You guys, you hear this in my voice? This is true. This isn't natural. This is me all hopped up on caffeine. Okay. If I'm drinking water, I would sound like Aslan.
Ouch. So let's go to commercial break. We'll be right back. It's Wake Up Warchant.
You're locked in to Wake Up Warchant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
He's Corey. I'm Aslan. It's Wake Up Warchant, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Welcome back to the program. Renegade Express just about to start. Man, they don't give us report cards for these sort of things, but so far, real quick, Corey, I mean, just in terms of access, golly, an A on the report card right now for FSUSID, right? They get an A. Taggart,
yeah, man, it's been pretty remarkable. It has been pretty remarkable. Like, yesterday we couldn't keep up with. We had four people out there, and we couldn't keep up with all the people that were available with coaches and players.
Every single offensive coach, right? That was every Dante Pimpleton, Telly Lockett, Greg Fry, my boy David Kelly, Unk. Yeah, every offensive coach. Walt Bell even. They gave us Walt Belt again. Walt Bell again, not Walt Belt.
Walt Belt. That's a cool name too. Walt Belt. Yeah, man, we got. That's the one that was. I was really encouraged by that. It wasn't just a one-off with the offensive coordinator. Like we got him 3 days later. Yeah, that's really cool. Hopefully, that's what we'll have in the future, moving forward. But yeah, obviously, David Kelly he's a really fun guy. I wrote about him. He's a really fun guy to talk to and listen to. He's been around a long time, and just when we talked to him, and I know we got to go to the questions, but when we talked to him real quick, he didn't want the job. Like, he didn't want the receiver. He wanted to be at Florida State, and he wanted to be the director of personnel, the recruiting coordinator. But
GM.
He didn't want to be on the field coaching. Mm-hmm. And then it sounds like once they missed out on Dugans at Miami, Taggart kind of looked at him and was like, hey, man, how about you be the wide receivers coach? You've done it before, and he has. He coached it at LSU, Georgia Tech, and Duke. So he's been the wide receivers coach before, and he didn't want to do it at first. And then, but man, when you see him out there, and that's what he said, he's like, right away in spring practice when he's out there, he's like, man, this is awesome. I love this. And man, he's a natural. It's like, why wouldn't that personality want to coach kids? Because I really do think that guy can make an impact with kids on the field. I was really, really impressed with him.
I mean,
he's loud on the field, but he's loud, and it's almost always encouraging. Even when he's correcting, he's encouraging.
He just got that husk to his voice that pierces through the atmosphere. You can hear him. It's not like an intimidating, angry man. It's just like,
it's a coach's
all right,
voice,
T.
Right?
All right, T. Good route.
And he was a head coach at Dunwoody High School for 10 years in Georgia and won a state championship there long, long ago, back when I was in high school. And no, they're Wildcats.
Close.
But man, it's actually I have a friend that played on that team. I should have mentioned that to David Kelly. That was dumb. But he's a coach, man. I know he liked doing the other stuff, and he was good at it. And I know he got in the issue at Central Florida, which he still denies and doesn't know why he was suspended for a year, but he was by the NCAA.
What?
Yeah, remember when Central Florida got put on probation under O'Leary? I don't know if you remember.
Vaguely.
This was like 2011, and then they argued it. It was also right around the same time the NCAA screwed up the Nevin Shapiro stuff. So that it was the same NCAA group that was investigating
at that point,
both. Huh? And so the AD got a 3-year show cause from Central Florida, and then they gave David Kelly a year for lying to the NCAA. And he came back immediately and said, I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't lie to the NCAA. They've never said what I did that they considered a lie. But anyway, he didn't coach in college. He coached in the CFL for, I think, a year or two, and then was not a coach for 3 years until he hooked back up with Taggart. But he's just a coach, man. He's a football coach.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Still Unk, though. Still my dude.
Oh, of course.
All right, let's get to Renegade Express. Let's begin with FSU Guy 1989. Sup, dudes. Love you guys. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, FSU Guy 1989. Maybe you should give us your name. You ask us a question like every week, and we don't even know your name.
Yeah, real name. We won't talk to real name.
You can be anonymous. It's fine. That's what you pay for. He says he loves reading Phil Steele's magazine each preseason. I usually know everything there is about Florida State by that time, but I like to read up on other teams in our division and on our schedule. He has us as a number 7 surprise team this year. My question for both of you, do you read it? And if you do, what you like most about it? If you don't, why not? P.S. Question to ask Taggart, has it sunk in yet that you are the head coach for the Florida State football team? I think somebody asked him something along the
He
lines
was
of
asked, Tom Lang actually asked him what it's going to be like to run out of the tunnel.
Yeah,
so that was kind of
close
the question, and he said, no, I'm not. He hasn't really given himself time to think about that yet.
I don't have a preseason mag. I need to get one, though. Phil Seals is just too much.
It is too much.
It's overwhelming.
It is. I just can't care that much about all those other teams.
Yeah.
I just can't. I mean, it's interesting. I like that he cares enough to put that much work into it. And he takes it seriously. But yeah, it's hard to read all that. I've talked about it on headlines a lot. But man, there used to be a time from the time I was 12 to probably 30. Every June, I went and bought all of them and read up on all of them. Okay. And now with the internet, I don't read them anymore.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I'm not as big a college football fan now that I'm a college football reporter.
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. BC Knoll 16. Aslan, you demand. Corey Clark, so are you.
Thanks, man.
It's football season, fellas. 1. What position battle result would surprise you the most this fall? He says Bailey getting the nod at quarterback.
Yeah, well, sure.
That would surprise me probably the most. I mean, what other battle do we really have out there? I mean, if Cam didn't start.
Yeah, well, yeah. If he didn't start because he was, theoretically outplayed by someone, yeah, that would be surprising.
If DeMarcus Christmas somehow didn't start, or Brian Burns. I think maybe
yeah.
Burns, yeah. I mean, I know we just gave you 5 answers, not one, but you said Bailey Hockman. I'd say Brian Burns if somehow Brian Burns wasn't out there in some sort of
that's not really a battle, though, but I don't, what are the battles?
Right.
Maybe if
Kyle Myers winning out the cornerback spot, but I guess that's by default if Stanford Samuels is moving to safety. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either, and I think it's going to be a good. I think it'll be a good move because I do think that position plays a lot of corner anyway, and you get one of your best athletes in the middle of the field where maybe he can make more of an impact.
Right on.
And you got a great one on the other side.
Yeah, man. Number 2 question: what's your favorite pie or cake? And I think he means in the literal sense. I'm more into pie than I am cake. He says. I got a bunch. Like I'm a red velvet cake guy, key lime pie guy, especially right now because it's hot out, and I like cheesecake a lot as well. Carrot cake as well too.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Ice cream cake is what I get for my birthday. Like Carvel or DQ ice cream cake with the vanilla on the top, the crunchies in the middle, and then the chocolate on the bottom.
Other than like an occasional donut and then my Reese's, I'm always eating Reese's. Right. But I'm not a huge sweets guy.
Obviously, by your
my incredible physique.
Well chiseled physique.
I would say apple pie.
Okay.
With ice cream on it.
You're just flying the flag.
Warm apple pie.
Just America.
With some ice cream on it. That's as good as it gets. Also, I do love cheesecake.
Would you rather have unlimited pie for the rest of your life or have mad cow? Oh, come on, man. We're not. No, that's
we're doing headline. No. That's a headlines question.
I love you, Aslan. Corey is cool, too. By the way, Corey, you do an excellent job singing Bryan Adams' song as Scott Stapp.
With arms wide open.
Solid. Tennis Ump. Thanks, guys. I love listening to your show in the mornings. Thanks, Tennis Ump. Make the right calls, man. You can't be serious.
Yeah, and don't take any gruff from those spoiled tennis players.
Don't. His question is, has anyone earned that single-digit number, and will those be given out during fall camp? Thanks again. He's in Birmingham, and you besmirched the great city of Birmingham, the Magic City, on Seminole headlines.
I mean, I said it was all right.
It's good. Stop being such a big city elitist with your, I'm from Atlanta, king of the castle, king of the castle.
Just saying.
No single digits will be given out yet, and this is going to cause enormous grief for some sports writer in Syracuse when the Noles roll up to Carrier Dome later on this season.
He's like, wait, I thought Cam Akers was 23. Why is he wearing 3?
Media guy. Yeah, they haven't done it yet. I would assume. I mean, I don't know what the rush is ultimately, but I mean, they printed the media guide, so I mean, they can do whatever they want now at this point.
I mean, I can't imagine that Cam Akers won't be number 3. Levante Taylor will be 1.
Right. Shock Patrick back to 9.
But yeah, I think James Blackman will be 1. 2, and even if he doesn't win the job, I
think
as well. Yeah, not 1, 2, because that's my man Francois. But yeah, so they will get him. I'm sure the people that are supposed to get him. It will be interesting just to kind of, because if you have this policy and then you give them all back their single digits, well, then is it really a policy? Right. Like, don't you have to make one example?
Yeah.
And say, sorry, man, sorry. I don't even know. I can't even think of any of the numbers. Sorry, is Dontavius number 5?
Yeah, D-Jack.
Yeah, sorry, D-Jacks. You're staying at 16 or whatever number he is now.
But then imagine the amount of resentment that will cause.
Well, hey, maybe he'll play harder. Maybe he'll play better. Whoever the single digits guys that didn't play the best, you didn't get your single digit back.
OneWorld _ chop and chant. What up, guys? It's been a minute, but I'm back in the States and ready for the season. I have a couple questions, but I understand if you guys can't get to all of them. Wow, very nice. Well, just for that, we're going to get to all of them. Let's do it. First,
how many are there? Have you seen?
3.
Oh, well, Lord.
First, with his background at quarterback, do you expect a package where you may see Akers at the quarterback and LeBourne and Patrick perhaps at the running back position? It would make some sense to utilize your players and their strengths to the max.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's gonna happen. When? How many times? That's the thing that we've kind of been talking about while you've been abroad, friend. But Cam Akers, 1 for 1. He's the only guy on that roster with a sterling completion percentage. He played quarterback in high school. They'll do it. I'm excited to see how it is. They even, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say because I just said it. They even had Bailey Hockman out there out wide a couple plays when we were out there a few days ago.
Yeah, but I think that was out of the receivers weren't running onto the field fast enough. So
really?
He saw that. It's when Taggart lost his mind because the receivers weren't going.
Well, don't blow his cover.
Well, we already talked about it on headlines. But that
not everybody here listens to headlines, all right, Corey?
Well, I know, but I'm not blowing anyone's cover. My point is the cover's already been blown.
Okay.
But, yeah, Bailey Hockman saw that and ran out wide just to give them the 11 guys on the field. But Taggart didn't like that.
What a heads-up play by him, though.
I know.
It's awesome. Way to book.
And then yelled at whoever the receiver was that wasn't running out there. Taggart was really upset.
Next, is there any way we may see the game day DJ and Aslan hooking up for an original song? Probably not. I don't know if the DJ is actually, he just makes music. And, maybe Tarif, if Tarif Knockout wants to get at me.
Tarif Knockout was like the first song they played yesterday at practice.
I don't have the credit in the streets to spit bars with him, but
that was good for him that he got it right before. It's much, much better than Seminole Rap. And I only say that because they played Seminole Rap
on Wednesday.
Soon thereafter. Yeah. And man, what an awful song. Tarif, you knocked it out of the park. But Seminole Rap is a disaster.
And I think every day, or at least the last 2 days, they've started practice with the Florida State fight song.
And did the Warchant finally. Yeah, that is a good way to start it. Yeah, they start, for people that don't know, they play the fight song. They played the Warchant. And then
Willie was actually doing the chop during the Warchant on the field.
And then they went to the music, the playlist.
Yeah. Do you know the whole entire lyrics of the fight song front to back?
Oh, no.
I do. I'm that guy.
I know we're going to fight.
I hate when people are just like, they're clapping, they're waiting for
I know Scalp 'em Seminoles.
Okay. F-L-O-R. And then
I know that part.
Yeah, come on. You got to know everything. All right, last question. We got to get to commercial break. Finally, do you guys notice a major change in the player strength and speed with the new strength and conditioning coach and the physicality that Barnett will demand of his players? I really noticed the last couple of years that we were softer than most teams, especially in the box, with the exception of 1 or 2 guys. Thanks, guys. Keep it up.
It's just hard, but it's hard to right now. We'll all notice it together once we start watching games, if that's changed. I do agree with that assessment that they did seem kind of soft at times the last few years. But
physically or mentally?
Both, really, quite honestly. And they just didn't make punishing hits. They would make tackles, sure, but they weren't you wouldn't describe Florida State as ferocious.
Nope.
The last couple of years. And so that's really what I'm looking to see. The strength, it's been 8 months. I don't know much strides you can make in 8 months. But we can't know because we don't watch practice. They're not in pads, number one, so even if we could watch practice, we couldn't tell. But as far as like the line of scrimmage, it's just hard to tell.
Cam looks really impressive physically. Him and Jaden Woodby are starting some sort of trend where they're rolling their shorts up like John Stockton back in '91, just flashing them quads.
That trend needs to go back.
Flashing them quads, son.
Yeah, no, that's not a good look.
I mean, your potential starting quarterback looks pretty robust up top too compared to years past. I mean, DeAndre Francois looks pretty bulky.
Yeah, I know, but let's see how it translates on the field.
Yeah. Let's see how that does translate. Let's see what we got behind this break. We'll be right back. It's Wake Up Warchant, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
Wake up! Welcome back. 97.9 ESPN Radio's Wake Up Warchant. He is Corey Clark. I'm Aslan Hajavandi. part of the Warchant.com family. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and start to join up now, folks. It's probably no better promo than what we have running right now. You get 2 football seasons for the price of one and a $50 gift card to Garnet and Gold. That's the premier authority on all Florida State apparel and knickknacks and haberdashery and all that sort of stuff. If you sign up for just 1 month, which is fine, you'll get access throughout Miami week, which is more than a month away, right? It's October, as I turn and pivot, October 6th. So if you sign up now, you pay for 1 month, you'll get access all the way through to that Miami game, and you'll get a $25 gift card to Garnet and Gold. You holding up all right over there, Corey? Got
I
that
am, buddy.
cola pumping through your veins?
Oh, yeah.
All right. We got a question here from Noel Defense at Corey Clark at Aslan. Well, you two finally got me to do something I hadn't done in 15 years. Subscribe.
All right.
All right, cool. Been a big fan of Warchant since .com started. Looking forward to reading the great content. Irish O'Fell, didn't forget you. Going to be fun. So there we go. He's in Atlanta, apparently. That's the first ever post he's made right there.
All right, man.
Legit.
Good job, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks,
Welcome
man.
aboard.
Yeah. Read all of Corey's stuff. Forgive me when I err. Maxwell Gibbs. There he is, man. What's it going to take to get a picture of Corey on one of the play cards for the offense?
So,
I don't know if are they going to use that?
I asked Jeff and Cameron, actually asked Taggart if he
Jeff
would,
Cameron, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. right here, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
when we were talking with him for a few minutes at some point, and we asked him if he would do that.
Willie. Okay.
And he said, "Oh yeah, absolutely." Now it was probably the first time he'd really hung out with us, so maybe he was just humoring us. I'm sure he was, but you best believe, at least midway through the season, if it hasn't happened yet, I'm going to remind him.
Okay.
Now, do you think it should just be a picture of me, or me and Jeff with our heads together?
I think it should be just you.
I do too, actually, because Jeff. I mean, what are we going to do? With
Jeff's
Jeff?
everywhere.
Yeah,
He's ubiquitous
exactly.
around
Exactly
Tallahassee. Take one off, man. Come on, Jeff.
But how else would
Somebody
that
else
be?
eat.
That would be pretty fun.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be a crowning achievement in my life. That would be like my new.
Should I do like a pose and
Twitter
send it to
avatar,
him?
everything.
Like a special pose with thumbs, like my thumbs up, like hey buddy, or like laying down on my side with my elbow out.
I think we should do it when your head is covered in beads of sweat.
That's probably my best look. Yeah. I really enjoy that.
Like glistening. He also gives us a free of charge NBA hot take. This is from our guy Maxwell Gibbs up in the East Village, Manhattan, New York City, New York. NBA hot take: the Raptors will win the East and get swept by the Warriors in the NBA Finals. What? Lakers don't make the playoffs, Aslan.
Well, that is a hot take because the Lakers will make the playoffs. My dude goes to the finals every year. Yeah. He's probably going to make the playoffs. But yeah, the Raptors could do it. I'd say the Celtics are your odds-on favorite. I know the Hawks won't do it.
Yeah. Seminole Nation 1474. It shows her that he joined on Sunday and he's only posted one message, and it's this one right here.
Man, we got 2 first-timers.
Guess how he starts the question off? Wake up!
Oh, I thought it was going to be long-time listener, first-time poster.
Wake up! Hey, guys. Tim from Indiana here. Aslan, give yourself a break. You're doing great. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Truly. I need the lift up. I took a beating
You're
on the
not
internet.
getting it from me.
Yeah, took a beating on the internet this week, but it's all right. We're going to rise and overcome.
Did you?
I've been listening to Tupac a lot lately. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to find out where these people tailgate at, have some conversations, move some furniture.
Oh, good. Man. Great. That'll help.
Corey, great as always. My question is, why were some of the freshmen allowed to come into camp later than other players? Was it travel related or what? Thanks, guys. Love the show. Keep up the great work.
So Harrison
Thank
came.
you very much.
Trayshawn Harrison came a day late. I think he had.
He
to go,
actually was here. It sounded like, and then he had to go back for family emergency.
He had to go back for a family emergency back to Seattle. So that's not easy. And then he got back yesterday or 2 days ago, and then the other kid, Peters, got his test score.
Right.
So they thought he was going to get it. I guess they were pretty confident he was going to get it, and then now he's got it. So he should be. I mean, as far as we know, he should be out there today or tomorrow. He should be out there sometime this week, and that's what Willie said to us on Sunday.
Yeah.
All the other guys have been on campus the whole time.
Yep, they have been. C691027, a.k.a. Comrade from St. Petersburg. As I stated, you two are the odd couple. Okay. I was wanting to know if there are stats being taken during practices, and is the media privileged to such info, or are scrimmages the only place stats are taken? Yeah, sports information like the official communications arm of Florida State University and their athletics department, they're not taking stats during practices. Some folks out there do. I think Gene does take stats, kind of, or at least he did when the practices were open for the entirety. I mean, I wrote down some stuff, and I did the whole play-by-play on my notebook, but I wasn't like, okay, DeAndre 5 of 8.
But I wonder if they, in Florida State basketball, when they practice, they track every shot of the practice, whether it's a free throw by themselves or
the team or
all of it. They're tracking all of it. Even
or
if
Chuck.
If,
is Chuck doing it? Or?
No, it's,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
managers.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Florida State is tracking something with the throws, but they also have it all on film, so they can go back and look at it. I don't think when they're just doing the on-air stuff that they're tracking, okay, DeAndre was 8 of 9 during that stretch with a drop. I don't think they're doing that. But in the scrimmage, I think in the 11-on-11 stuff, they for sure probably keep up with that.
Yeah, there's nothing in terms of for media's sake that stats are being kept, but the team is definitely, I'm sure, obviously keeping track of that sort of stuff. All right, True Knoll, he's the one who joined on that very awkward date, had the story, but he really didn't join on that date.
Which is when it shows up.
Morning, guys. Wake up. Aslan, you need to start saying that with more enthusiasm. Football season is finally here.
Yeah, no lie, Rick.
Wake up! All right, man, it's 3-1. You guys are killing me here. It takes a lot out of me. Hour number 2. I can't wait. I can't wait till Halloween. I'm going to pretend I'm Jeff Cameron. I'm going to start coming in off a top rope. Step your game up. He said, not to you, Jeff. He says to me for me to step my game up. All right. By the way, you definitely asked the best questions during the player and coach interviews. That's my man.
There you go,
recognize
buddy.
Recognize real. Actually, the entire Warchant staff does a great job at that. We do. I feel sometimes Ira is ashamed of the questions I ask, and I'm bringing down the journalistic chops of the establishment. But Ira, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly on this.
Plus, do peacocks fly?
It's from a movie.
What is it?
The Other Guys.
Oh, I don't know.
Which is one of my. You got watch it. You and Steph watch The Other Guys. Will Ferrell and Marky Mark.
I did see that. I don't remember that, but it's a funny line.
It's one of my all-time favorites.
But you can't let Ira get you down, man. If you went by the ebbs and flows and the emotions of Ira Schofel, none of us would ever be able to get anything done.
Have you ever been turned down for a player interview request? Honestly, I'd love to see another one with LeBourne. Make it happen. Hit that buh. We actually interviewed LeBourne yesterday. He posted this question in the morning before we actually had that. I'm sure I've been turned down by a player interview request somewhere.
That's not how it works, though, especially here. It's here anyway. You don't ask the player.
Right,
You ask the SID, and again, I can't stress this enough, the last 8 years, when you ask the SID for some X, Y, and Z, you might get X. You would probably get C. Nothing that you asked for, you would get. It was some of them were off limits. The coach had to, sign off on all of them, and a lot of times he didn't. So people we asked for, we didn't get, and we got the same 4, 5, 6 kids every week. Which got to be a bit monotonous for all of us, and including people reading about the team. That's what's most important. But they wouldn't. I don't know that a player's ever said no, man. I don't want to talk to you, because we don't ask for interviews that way anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. We did talk to.
You know who you remember T.J. Bryant?
J.R. Bryant.
No, T.J. Bryant played at Lincoln, and he was a 5-star cornerback. That spurned Florida State to go to USC.
Yep.
He turned me down. I was at the All-American Bowl in 2008, 7, and he's like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do an interview." It's like, so that happened.
By the way, you want to say that I asked the best questions? True. No, let me humble myself here, and it's talking to your boy. This is actually when I talked to your boy, Kalen LeBourne.
Was there any benefit, you think, to sitting out last year redshirting? I mean,
not at all.
Fair enough.
That's awesome. And his reaction too is you can hear it, but if you saw the way he shook his head and wiped his sweat, it's yeah, man, he ain't feeling that question. There was no benefit.
The Bell and Barnett interviews were fantastic and really boosted my confidence in Taggart's ability to run a program with the expectations that the Florida State program and its fans have. I totally agree with them. Those guys, that was impressive.
And the most important thing again is he didn't know either one of them.
Yeah,
those were hires made by himself with no real connections to him. Which were the two most in an offensive line? I'd say those are the 3 most important hires he made, and he didn't have a connection to any of those 3 guys.
Well, I think Jim helped him out a lot. I think Jim Harbaugh probably told him, "Hey, listen, I'm in Michigan. The one that's been giving me a pain in the neck is this guy at Michigan State." And I'm sure.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Greg Fry. I'm like, man, I don't think Harbaugh wanted him to take his O-line coach.
Yeah, no.
No, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
But he does add, have you had any opportunity to engage with the other coaches such as Woody, Pimpleton, and Lockett? If so, were they as impressive? This is a question that was asked in the morning before we actually went out and interviewed every single one of these coaches. So
right.
I only spoke to David Kelly, and he is every bit as cool and down to earth and just full of wisdom that I thought he was going to be. Everybody else talked, Coach Pimpleton, Coach Lockett, but I wasn't able to speak to any of those guys.
Yeah, I spoke to Lockett for maybe a minute, he was very high on our man McKinney.
Yeah, here McKinney.
Yep, he said he was going to be a freak, or he is a freak, and is going to be a big time player. But yeah, you couldn't really get a sense of him. But again, man, David Kelly and Walt Bell are just really impressive guys.
Really good coaches here. Really good players.
We hope. We don't know for sure how good of coaches they are, but they certainly communicate well, which is a big part of coaching. And again, it wasn't just media complaining to complain. When you talk to the other coaches and all the players, you get a sense of the team. You get a sense of those people. They're easy to root for. And part of the problem with Florida State the last few years is it wasn't a likable team because you didn't know anybody.
It's just the one dude.
That's it. You had one guy that didn't want to talk, having to talk about everything. And it's really refreshing. And again, this isn't I make this point all the time. I get paid whether they talk or not. It's really refreshing, I have to imagine, for Florida State fans to get to hear from other people. It just has to be.
Dude, there's something like 70 comments on the video alone from David Kelly. There's like 5,000-6,000 views, but 60 comments on a YouTube page. Right. People are like, this is awesome. This is my coach. Fantastic.
And Bell, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Randy Sanders was always impressive when we got to talk to him, but it was for 7 minutes a year. Right. Legitimately 7 minutes a year.
All right, let's step aside for the final time on this Thursday. We'll be back taking the phone calls. That portion of Renegade Express coming up right after this. 97.9 ESPN Radio's Wake Up Warchant.
You're locked in to Wake Up Warchant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Thanks for sticking around for 3 segments. Buy 3, get 1 free. One final one of the day. He's Corey Amazon's Wake Up Warchant 97.9 ESPN Radio. We neglected, and by we I mean myself, neglected the voicemail box from questions that we had from last week that we weren't able to get to. Just to keep you focused on these things or keep you up to date on things. I do see these. We're going to breeze through some of them that were from last week, and then we'll play the ones for this week. Terrell from McKinney, Texas, kind of asked us, Corey, what you thought were the 3 best position changes since 2010, because that seems to be kind of happening right now, right? A couple guys have been changing positions.
Oh, that's a good question.
He said Carlos Williams is one of the guys. He thinks the number 1 was Cam Irving, then Carlos Williams, and then he says Freddie Stevenson moving from like fullback to running back. Yeah, he said Freddie Stevenson. He left off Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, no, Xavier Rhodes is number 1 without a doubt. It's hard. He never played a down at wide receiver, so people don't really think of him maybe as the guy that did that. But he came in as a wide receiver, and I believe went through his first fall as a wide receiver, and then made the move. At least a few. Cam is Cam might be number 1, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from a D tackle that actually played some to being a first-round pick as an offensive lineman. I mean, that's really, really impressive. Like Xavier Rhodes kind of had his whole college career as a corner, but Cameron Irving had half of it as a defensive lineman. Brian Stork was a tight end that moved over.
That does count. That does count.
To center, that helped.
Oh, we had a question about should Florida State do anything after touchdowns? Miami's got that turnover chain. I think it'd be cool to do something as long as you're not signing your name on a whiteboard. That was the most pathetic reactionary thing in the history of sports.
Yeah.
That was just what? Oh, yeah, you got to turn over, write your name on the whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, not cool. But what can you do?
You got to give him a spear.
Won't get you penalized.
A jeweled spear on the sideline. You run over and you stay on the bench. You grab the spear. You hold it up like you're Osceola.
And then you plant it into something?
Nah, you just hold it up, man. I think it's going to be all jeweled, man. But, bespeckled or not bespeckled.
All right.
Bedazzled.
What if you got into like a golf cart and just went around the stadium? Just did a lap in the stadium. They got golf carts everywhere. Just hop in one.
They do. There are a lot of those ones.
Would that be a penalty? Would that be a penalty if you scored a touchdown, ran into the end zone like you do?
Yeah.
You run off to the side. There's a golf cart right there in the tunnel.
Yeah.
You get into it. You back it out not onto the field, but on the playing around the sidelines, and you just drove around the sidelines in a golf cart with your hands in the air. Would that be excessive celebration, or would it just be a kid taking a ride on a golf cart?
I think you have to probably wait for the extra point to go through the uprights and then start doing it. Maybe then at that point,
after while the commercial's playing. Yeah, that's probably smart. I don't think he'd get penalized for that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to. Or
ride the horse.
We got our friend in Tampa here, Jim. It says, "Hey Phyllis, hey fellas." Jim in Tampa here, but it spells Jim as in like gymnasium. He wants to be the guy that goes on record first to say that Florida State's going to score 50-plus against Virginia Tech.
Wow. That would be something.
Okay.
What a start that would be.
That'd be pretty cool.
Can you imagine that? Like what the fans would be like if the very first game they put up 50 on Bud Foster? Be a lot of excitement. Yeah. And the rest of the country would be like, oh, no.
We got a call from Brian in Rochester, New York, asking us about kind of why the ACC network took so long to get off the ground. We can maybe dive into that next week. We'll probably have some slow days next week since Florida State's
I don't really know the answer to that.
Well, this gives us time to figure it out.
There you go.
Stalling it out.
Okay, good.
And let's see here. I think we're caught up now. We're caught up now. Let's play this one then. This is our friend. It's 35 seconds, so we can deal with this one.
What's up, guys? Kevin up here in Virginia again. Quick question. Obviously, Cam Akers is probably our best chance at a Heisman Trophy winner this year, if any. But do you think splitting the carries with the stable of running backs that we have hurts his chances, or do you think he still has a legitimate shot? And another question, which true freshman outside of Jalen Woodby do you think becomes more of an impact, offense or defense? Thanks, guys. Love the show. Keep it up. Go Noles.
I mean, splitting the carries is not going to be a good thing. Again, I just don't know. I think there's just some schools where if you're going to win the Heisman as a running back, you have to go to that particular school. You have to be like the Ohio State running back or the Alabama running back, or I don't know. Florida State just feel like no one ever gives the running backs all that much love. I don't think Cam's going to make New York. I hope he does. That'd be awesome. But I think, yeah. I mean, the fact that he's going to be splitting carries with Jock and Kalen is going to take a dent out of what he could ultimately maybe do on the higher end of things.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he's a finalist during out his career, but that doesn't mean he's not going to have a great career. I mean, again, Dalvin never got to New York, which is absurd.
Exactly, it's
absurd.
That's what I'm saying.
Warrick Dunn never got to New York.
Yeah,
that's weird.
That's what I'm saying. If those two guys going to make it, love Cam, high ceiling on him, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
to make it there.
Yeah, but I mean, look, 2,000 yards or 230 yards in a big game at Miami or at Notre Dame and make some crazy plays. Say he does the play against Miami where he crushed that kid, Greg Jonesed him. Yeah. If that happens in a game that they win with the whole nation watching and
Clemson.
Something like that, well, all of a sudden, man, you got a couple highlight plays and you're putting up the numbers, you got a chance. But it's really hard as a running back now. You're right.
True freshman outside of Jalen.
By the way, Tamorian Terry is the right answer.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if it'll be this year, but it'll certainly be 2 times. And then again, we'll see him in Canton, baby.
Yeah. And you won't be invited, Tom Block.
Sorry, Tom Block.
Outside Jalen would be biggest impact true freshman. I mean, we only got to see them for 5 or 6 periods today, so that's a tough ask for us to go. You want to give me some time to think here? I don't know.
Yeah, man.
One of the receivers, I guess. I mean, that's.
One of those is going to have to play a lot for sure. But it's hard to pick which one. Yeah. You would think Thompson or Harrison maybe have a step up on the other guys, but it's hard to pick which one. But I
picked Jordan Young, a few months ago, and I think somebody asked us something similar to this.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, literally, and I know that's not a cop out. It's hard to know, but one or two of those freshman receivers are going to have to play a lot, and they want them to play a lot. And in that offense, they're gonna make some plays.
All right, we're gonna get to the rest of these tomorrow. I promise. Let me play this one here because it's a good one and it's a good one to probably go off on. So let's just do this here.
Aslan, Corey, love your show. Aslan, I got an issue. Don't want to leave a bad review. Just telling you face to face. Being on DeAndre because he doesn't have the sophistication of a middle-aged ex-sportscaster is not fair to him. If you would like to compare yourself, I don't think you should throw the same sharp spirals. not a DeAndre fan. I'm in the Brady Hockman camp. But got to be fair to all these kids. He's 20 years old because he's not sophisticated behind the camera or the microphone. It's probably an unfair shot. Just wanted to share with you. Keep doing what you're doing, Corey. Aslan, keep getting better. Have a good day. RWR Noel 2 here, signing out.
That was a good one. So he was talking. So yeah, about your Francois tape. But I feel like for the people that were probably mad listening to you in the car, which is probably a good percentage of them, I think.
Maybe.
I think I gave you the counter. Like, I didn't just let you say that and be like, all right, well, let's keep going on with the show. I was like, well, that's not. I don't think that's really fair. So I think I gave the voice of. I was the voice of the people in that segment.
Right. You're the
voice of reason.
You're the ethical and moral compass of the program.
Yeah, and the biggest again was that you didn't see him 2 years ago. It was a big step up, and he's not comfortable doing it. He just isn't. But I don't think it means 2 years ago, because of the way the program was run, and it was the media. It was them against the media. They didn't have any time for it. They didn't want to do it. They looked down on us. I don't really think that's the case right now with these guys. I think these guys, for the most part, enjoy it. He might not ever enjoy it, but he's at least trying to play the game a little bit.
I could get the final word if I want to because I have this microphone.
Go for it, buddy.
Sorry. I'm not going to.
No, go, man.
No, there's not. That's
but also,
that's fair.
if you're talking about a critique, somebody that called was upset enough to call and leave a critique, that's the way to do it, folks.
That was very nice.
That was you left smiling.
Yeah. Well, I'm not smiling. Just thanks for not leaving a bad review.
Well, not only that, but he was pretty kind.
Yeah.
He's like, keep getting better. He's offered encouragement.
Work on your game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but he was nice. He was polite enough. He didn't call you an idiot.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I didn't even leave his name. But anyhow, we'll get to the rest of the question. We've got about a half dozen more. We'll do those on Friday. We'll get back here. We'll be nice and ready to go. Actually, we'll have to maybe tape that one, Corey, because media availability is going to be at 7:00 in the morning on Friday.
Yeah,
so we're going to have to tape that one.
That'll be something.
Yeah,
that might be you and Gene and Ira rocking that.
All right, we got to get out of here. Jeff Cameron's coming up at 3. Thanks for listening, folks.
Darn pop-ups and video ads.
Are you wasting your time again on clickbait FSU updates that are bloated down with ads?
Yeah. And after crashing my computer, the information isn't even up to date. You're on Warchant.com. What's really going on with the Seminoles?
For the real scoop, you'll need to get your own Warchant subscription.
What's it cost?
Free. There's a 30-day trial offer right now.
You know I like free. Sign me up.
Use the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Nobody has more accurate and timely information on the Noles than Warchant.com.
Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole source.